Well, now on to a very special left, right and centre interview. Two Indian-American scientists have been honoured with the national medals in the fields of science and technology by the US President Joe Biden. Dr Ashok Gadgil was conferred the National Medal for Technology and Innovation, while Dr Shubhra Suresh was awarded the National Medal of Science. In a statement, the White House has said that their accomplishments advance American leadership in science, technology and innovation, and that their work inspired the next generation of American minds. Dr Ashok Gadgil, who joins us now, is a civil and environmental engineer. He is an inventor of repute. When in doubt, he invents, let's put it that way. He invented a highly efficient UV water purifier, for example, in 1993, and also what came to be known as the Berkeley Darfur stove. We'll be talking about that. But the stove, fascinating, a simple, fuel-efficient, wood-burning device that massively eased the financial burden faced by women in conflict-hit Darfur in Africa. We're now joined by Dr. Gadgil. Thanks, sir, very much for being with us. It's such an incredible inspiration, sir, for people around the world. And that spirit of invention and innovation and tinkering and doing something which actually helps countless people has defined you as a person, not just your teaching, but in terms of what you've done. I thought an interesting way of talking about what your work has actually been is actually to go through a couple of your extraordinary accomplishments. So let's start at the top. Energy efficient lighting, saving billions of dollars in developing nations. How has this been one of your key focal areas?
For a long time, it was possible to save billions of dollars both for the consumers and for the electric supply utility in the developing countries. But it was not happening because the consumers were too poor to buy efficient electric lighting. And they were receiving, most of them, 80% of them, as depending on the poverty in the country, were receiving what we in the US call lifeline rates or subsidized electricity prices. So subsidized electricity was not worth saving with full-priced, efficient devices. And that hurt everybody because more electricity was used, that means less homes were electrified. And the utility kept on losing money on the subsidies to the electricity.
Right. So the
solution
yes.
Go on.
Go ahead, sir. The solution?
The solution I came up with is a collaboration where the utility itself, the electric supply company itself, participates in the market and subsidizes the electric efficient lighting devices, efficient lamps, LED lamps, rather than simply subsidizing electricity, which will always undercut unsubsidized efficiency.
And Dr. Gadgil, next point. Let's run through the technologies. The second one, a low-cost UV filtration-based water disinfection system. Why did you do this, and how? And what were some of the key technologies which you had to figure out so that it's replicated and replicated at a cost? Because if it's too expensive, it doesn't work in developing societies.
So, of course, trying to disinfect drinking water at a price that local people can afford was key, which meant that price was a very important constraint. The big innovation was to look for something that will disinfect the water really, really cheaply, but will also have no moving parts, will have nothing to foul, will be easy to maintain in the field, in the developing world, in the rural context. And what I came up with a way to disinfect with UVC light, which actually destroys the DNA of the pathogens, but keep the light away from the water without having to use glass sleeves by suspending it in air. So there is only an air gap between the lamp and the water. And that works. Right. And make it profitable for somebody to actually sell the water so everybody makes some money or somebody saves life.
Dr. Gadgil, the Darfur stove, I mean, I read a lot about it. I didn't know, frankly, about some of the other inventions, but the Darfur stove I certainly did know about. It's a low-cost natural convection stove. It's remarkably efficient. It costs what? Just a few $100s. And when it was transported to Less than that. How much did it cost?
20.
$20.
It
Sorry.
cost $20 fully assembled and transported
Not
from
200,
Mumbai to
$20.
Africa.
$20, and it actually ensured that women in Darfur saved upwards of what, $1,500 annually. How does it work?
Well, it just burns wood, but we had to improve the combustion efficiency of the wood. And we had to improve the heat transfer efficiency of the fire into the pot. And both of these together is what allowed much less fuel use. But the key was to make sure it worked with their pots, their fuel, their cooking methods, and still was inexpensive and easy to assemble. We got it made in flat kits in Mumbai and shipped it to Africa all the way and assembled it with Darfur refugees' own labor who were paid for it. And it still cost about $20.
Remarkable. A low-cost natural convection stove system to remove carcinogens from groundwater. What was the science behind this? Another key invention of yours.
It's not combustion system. It's a low-cost device to remove a technology to remove arsenic from drinking water. It's something I invented specifically for the problems of India and Bangladesh, who have groundwater contaminated with extremely high levels of arsenic.
Yes.
And the technology is based on releasing a kind of iron rust in the water with small amount of electric current, a DC voltage about size of two couple of D-cell batteries. And that dissolved rust captures the arsenic and settles out, and leaving the water safe to drink.
Fantastic. And
we have 2 plants licensed by the university operating in India now, in West Bengal, and one in Uttar Pradesh.
Dr. Gadgil, you've also worked on a $100 plant wax-based non-electric infant warmer. And we should have a picture of this coming up. It, in a sense, replicates an incubator, right? Or what exactly is the function?
The function is to avoid infant deaths from hypothermia. About 1 million infants die in the first days of their birth from hypothermia. And the place where they die doesn't have reliable electricity. And the infants, even though what you're showing is exactly the approach recommended by the UNICEF people, and it is not adequate.
Right.
So we have a plant wax-based infant warmer that has reduced all-cause deaths of neonatals by a factor of 3 for a large trial in Rwanda, public hospitals. And that's a very dramatic impact. I'm working closely with doctors at Harvard Medical School and with Rwandan public health doctors to make this happen.
Dr. Gadgil, I must ask you as we wrap up this discussion, what do you do in your free time? Are you always tinkering with inventions or thinking up ideas? Or do you actually get hands-on yourself? Are you cutting metal or wood? Or are you just looking at things like thermal efficiency and the like, which you've done so many papers on?
No, I'm actually, I love tinkering.
Okay.
I actually work with my hands, and that gives me a lot more concrete ideas in terms of what could be built. In addition to, of course, theory and understanding the deep science.
Is there anything else that you're working on presently which can have, again, an impact on any number of lives? Or you're thinking about at least?
Very much. I'm really thinking about how to avoid large number of heat deaths, which are coming to the developing world faster than anybody is ready for. And the heat deaths are coming because of climate change effects. And we are going to exceed survival temperatures around the world, in the developing world, because we are in the hot part of the earth. And people aren't ready for it.
Yeah. No, that sounds absolutely incredible. It's something that perhaps the entire world needs to look at very, very closely. It's such wonderful to speak to you. You are an inspiration for so many of us interested in science and in terms of actually saving lives and making a difference in the quality of lives of people. Thank you very much, sir, for speaking to NDTV.
My pleasure.